because I can't get a vaccine until I've waited the 90 days. There are a lot of people that are in kind of awkward positions right now, but eventually we'll sort it all out. Ford, thank you so much for coming in and helping us with the subject. It's a tough one. I appreciate it.
Thank you, David.
Ahead on the evening edit, Arizona Sheriff Mark Lamb on what is causing the border surge.
Having it in your home means you'll really use it. It's fast, fun, and
Then calling for
Hi, I'm Jane King, and thank you for watching. This show is all about public, private, and blockchain companies. We bring you the innovators behind the companies making the headlines in that space. Some are sponsored, some are invited, all are curated and focused on telling you, the viewers, their story. Here we go. Tonix Pharmaceuticals just finished a trial of its COVID vaccine on animals. And with me is the CEO, Seth Lutterman, to explain the findings. So, Seth, I took a quick look at these. It looks pretty good. Can you go into detail about what your trial results were with this COVID vaccine?
Thanks, Jane. We're very excited. We tested our vaccine on non-human primates in an experiment where we vaccinated the animals with our vaccine versus two controls, either a sham vaccine or a vaccine that was closely related but wasn't designed to protect against COVID. And in the fourth quarter of last year, we announced very encouraging results about the immune response that these non-human primates mounted. But today, we announced that the vaccinated animals were protected against COVID-2. COVID-2 is the virus that causes COVID-19. So the top line of the results that was issued today was 6 days later, which is a relevant time in this animal model. The vaccinated animals had undetectable levels. So, and in contrast, the animals that were not vaccinated or were vaccinated with a control vaccine had much more.
Very interesting. Well, now we heard kind of as we've been studying all this, 94% effective, 90. Do you have a number on that yet, or are you at that point?
That's a great question. Unfortunately, we can't get that kind of information from this model because these animals don't get as sick from COVID as humans do. But the model that we use is very similar to the models that were used by the EUA vaccines, for example, and all the other vaccines. And we won't have that kind of number until we get into humans, because we have to just look at the amount of virus we can detect instead of looking at how healthy or sick the animals get.
Mm-hmm. Now, when we talked last time, you had explained a little bit about your goals for this vaccine, that it might be something that it could be used every year. I mean, kind of explain how this would fit into the whole COVID vaccine ecosystem.
It's a great question. The 3 EUA vaccines, EUA stands for Emergency Use Authorization, and I think everyone now knows that they would be the Pfizer vaccine, the Moderna vaccine, and the J&J vaccine. They're all very important, and I first want to say that it was great effort to get them approved. I personally am 1 dose into the Pfizer vaccine. I urge everyone to get the vaccine as quickly as they are eligible to get it in their state or community. But despite the remarkable achievements of Operation Warp Speed and the potential of these vaccines, they are first generation vaccines. And there are important questions left about these vaccines we just don't know. The most important is durability. How long will someone be protected? So we don't know. Will they only be protected for 6 months, for 9 months? I mean, for me, that's a very good trade-off because I want to be protected for 6 months. But on the other hand, there are older, more established techniques of vaccination that can provide years or decades of protection. So while the EUA vaccines, the Moderna and the Pfizer vaccines are called mRNA vaccines, those are completely novel technology. And the J&J vaccine called Ad26 is almost as new, although it was half of a vaccine that was used in Africa for Ebola, that essentially, at least with an American experience, new. So we just don't know the durability. One of the great advantages of those vaccines is how quickly they could be developed. And thank goodness, because hopefully they're making an impact already, because over 100 million people, I believe, in the United States have gotten their first dose. But it's no time to be complacent. We can't get a year from now and realize that the protection from these is only 6 months. We need other technologies. Also, after the pandemic, we expect COVID to be endemic, meaning that humans are going to coexist with COVID for the rest of the time that humans are on Earth. And that means that like measles, mumps, and rubella, we probably will have to adopt a strategy of vaccinating children against COVID. So we are thinking in terms of that kind of vaccine, ultimately a childhood immunization that could be broadly deployed and tip the balance of this, sharing the earth with COVID, tip it in our favor in the same way that the MMR vaccine, the measles, mumps, rubella vaccine, has tipped that balance in our favor. And our technology, in contrast to Pfizer, Moderna, and J&J, which are new technologies, ours is the oldest technology. Literally, the first vaccine was a vaccine to protect against smallpox, developed by Edward Jenner in 1796. We believe that our horsepox vector is closely related to the virus that Edward Jenner used. That virus provides years, decades of protection, and it was the most successful vaccine ever because it eradicated smallpox, the only viral disease ever eradicated. So we're taking the best part of the old virus vaccine technology and applying it to this new threat. So I think that's why we're very different.
Very interesting. So the vaccine is called TNX 1800, correct? So yeah. What's next?
What's next is we hope to study humans this year. And the gating item for that is manufacturing TNX 1800 in a quality suitable for human investigation. So that's our big priority. And now we really feel that's the one hurdle left for us to jump through, particularly now that we have what we think is compelling data in the non-human primate animal model. So we are guiding that in the second half, we expect to do human phase 1 trials. So we're rushing towards that goal.
And what are your objectives for 2021?
Well, the most important objective, as we discussed, is to bring home the Raleigh study, the confirmatory phase 3 study in fibromyalgia, which with a positive study, a drug ready for NDA, would be transformative to our company. The other big thing we're hoping for, again, something we talked about, is to get our COVID-19 vaccine, TNX 1800, into a phase 1 human study.
Okay, well, thank you. Very interesting update, Seth, and best of luck. And please come back and update us as these trials and studies go on throughout the year.
Thank you very much for your interest.
Thank you. Paypolitan uses blockchain technology to combine traditional banking with DeFi banking, decentralized banking. So with me to explain more about what Paypolitan is doing and where they are at this point in the year is the CEO, Nils Thorant-Ortiz. So good to have you back with us.
Thank you for inviting me again, Jane.
Okay, so you just finished an IEO last week on BitForex. So explain the IEO for those that may not be familiar with that term, and then how did it go?
Yeah, an IEO is basically like an IPO, but on a crypto exchange. So it's going public, but instead of issuing shares, you issue a token, which is then bought during the IEO from token holders. And yeah, BitForex is a major exchange based in Hong Kong. We did this in order to add a new trading pair. So so far we only had our EPAN token and Ether, and now we added USDT. As USDT Tether is a stablecoin that is giving more stability to the price of the token, and is taking off a bit of volatility, which you normally have in those highly volatile coins like Bitcoin or Ether.
Mm-hmm. Now, can you do an ETO on IEO on another exchange?
Yeah, definitely. So we're still aiming on doing an IEO or a listing on a tier 1 exchange, which of course has to be at a certain time. So we have to have a certain growth over the year. And I think in Q3 at latest, we would be ready for a tier 1 exchange.
Okay. And then where do you stand with the Paypolitan app? Where's all that?
Well, actually, it's a great day. We just started today our beta testing.
Awesome. Okay.
So it was, we have 150 beta testers from the community. And so far what I could see, the feedback, they're very happy. Paypolitan, just to explain in a nutshell, is a payment app. You can pay with cash from your bank account or with crypto. And we are not storing any money. We simply connect to your existing bank accounts or crypto wallets. So that is like the core architecture of Paypolitan, which makes it very safe because your funds, either crypto or cash, stay where they are. You simply aggregate them, and you can use Paypolitan to send them either from A to B or to make the payment with the Paypolitan app.
So tell me about the beta test, like how many people, how long will that last? What's the process?
So we invited 150 beta testers from our community, and internally our 34 employees are also on board. So everyone is obliged to become a beta tester. Plus one of my colleagues who had an iPhone 6, he has to update his phone because it's not, you cannot update it. So we just noticed this morning. So he has to buy, or we're gonna buy, I think, for our colleague a new iPhone. And he can then also be the beta tester. So there is only one missing so far.
Well, I'm not going to make fun of him because I just got a 12 after having a 7 for years and years and years and years. So I definitely got my money's worth out of that phone. Now, there's a lot of terms, Nils, that when people are trying to learn about crypto, is, we see Bitcoin and Ethereum do so well. Yield farming, staking. Can you explain what those two terms mean?
Yes. So actually our app is now starting with DeFi features. DeFi stands for decentralized finance, and staking and yield farming are this is the heart of DeFi. What is staking? Staking is locking a coin for a certain time, and this coin is then generating an interest rate. Why is that important? If you have a token that is listed, you need liquidity for that token. So this token can be traded. If this token from token holders is staked, that means this liquidity will stay there. It's like a reserve fund or the Federal Reserve. They always have some gold and some cash in the reserve and they keep it there, and it gives the stability to the US dollar. It's the same for staking. So this is a new aspect of DeFi that started maybe a year ago, not even a year ago. And Paypolitan has two models. You have either a staking period that is locked for 6 months duration, and you get a 16% plus interest rate, which is very good and very attractive. I don't know if you checked it with the interest rates of the banks. It's very low right now. So whenever you want to borrow some money or lend some money, it's not that challenging. I don't know how that is in the US right now on my bank accounts over here in Europe. When I don't spend the money, I even have a negative interest rate. So I have to pay a penalty for keeping cash in my bank account. And the second model is there is no duration of staking. That means you lock a number of tokens for a period of time the user himself is setting, either a week or 2 weeks, 1 week and 1 day and 3 hours. And in the crypto field, the staking has really a breakdown to the second. So the interest rate is calculated with the compound rate, which goes down to the second when you release the locked liquidity, the locked tokens, when you take them back, is really counted until the moment and the second exactly where you remove the funds from liquidity.
Okay, it's been very interesting already, and it's only March, so that'll be an interesting thing to watch this year. Nils, thank you so much for coming back. Always interesting to pick your brain about what's going on, and come back when you have the results of the beta test, and we can update the interview.
I will for sure. Thank you, Jane. Have a good one. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Hello, I'm Anna Berry, and joining me with Zynecoin is Fedwa. Fedwa, welcome.
Thank you. I'm really happy to be here with you today. Thank you for having me.
Yes, it's always interesting to catch up with Zynecoin. So talk to me. We are starting a new year. So what is your 2020 assessment on all of the projects you guys have been up to?
Well, with everything that has been going in the world, 2020 was a very positive year with a set of achieved objectives. We ended 2020 with a Zynecoin at around $1 compared to the first price on exchanges at like 45 cents, which is more of a good performance. Well, the Epillo blockchain has been developed and works perfectly. As of today, we have more than 90 master nodes out of 157 possible, which, as a reminder, offers a specificity by its distribution of mining permissions, where 50% goes to miners, 25% to states, and 25% to NGOs. Also, it has a transaction confirmation time of less than 3 seconds, which makes it one of those with the best scalability. The ZYN ICO also has been worked very well. We are currently in the 6th round, priced at 65 cents, with the market launch scheduled for April 17th, 2021 at 77 cents. Afrex is the token of WheatUX, which is a cryptocurrency exchange that we are developing. We aim to position WheatUX as the benchmark exchange in Africa. We also launched the testnet and opened the public to the public, from which we received positive and unanimous feedback about the ergonomics and user experience. The pre-sale of the Afrex token went well, with over 30% new investors, and it is currently listed on Uniswap through the AFX USDT pair.
Fantastic. Well, now that we're into 2021, what are some of your objectives for this year?
Well, one of our objectives is the release of a shared stacking system on the blockchain called Epillo. It is aimed to provide more decentralization and to give the ability to own shares of masternode for those who cannot afford it. And also we plan to deploy the WeChat exchange somewhere by the end of the first semester of 2021. We are preparing for the presentation of the plans for the first eco-village in Morocco during this month of March, while planning to begin the construction of the first model house at the end of the first semester as well.
Hash that out for me a little bit more. Tell me about these eco-villages and the ZYN project.
Well, the second project launched in May 2020 by the Zynecoin founding team is the ZYN token deployed on Epillo blockchain, in which supports a project focused on ecology and sustainable development. The primary objective of ZYN is the construction of eco-villages with eco-responsible homes in total food and energy self-sufficiency, where tradition and nature are combined with the latest technological innovations in order to provide the best possible living environment. You can find more information on the ZYN.io website as well as its white paper.
Perfect. Now tell me a little bit about the Afrix, correct? Afrix and the development of this new WeFioX exchange.
Well, the Afrix token is our latest addition to the ecosystem, which saw the light in November 2020. It is the currency of the WeChat exchange, thought out and designed with the aim of providing interoperability between the WeChat blockchain, WeChat's native coin Zynecoin, as well as all the goods and services available in this ecosystem.
Perfect. All right. So to sum up, tell me about your thoughts and your hopes for 2021 going into 2022, because this is important for the future of Africa.
Well, a project always goes through three phases. First mocked, second thought, and third recognized as obvious. Well, 2019 was for us the first phase, 2020 was phase 2, so 2021 must be the third phase. Established evidence of the project's relevance. So follow closely the team in its Zynecoin project, as well as WeChat blockchain, ZYN in its eco-village, Afrix in WeChat exchange, because everything is in place to bring the entire ecosystem to the top.
Fantastic technology. It was wonderful speaking with you, Fedwa. Shukran, merci, barakallah.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
Thank you for joining me in Morocco.
Epillo Health Systems is a digital healthcare company that uses artificial intelligence, machine learning, and blockchain to help people live healthier lifestyles. So to tell us more about Epillo Health Systems is CEO Asif Shah. And we're also going to talk a little bit about your partnership with Dr. Singh and his company. So let's start with you, Mr. Shah. Just tell me about Epillo. Bring me up to date.
Thank you so much, Jane, for the question. Epillo Health Systems is a digital healthcare company based in Europe. We are aimed at transforming the medical technology landscape by incorporating the best of artificial intelligence, machine learning, and blockchain in digital healthcare applications. At Epillo Health Systems, we want to help everyone lead a healthier and safer lifestyle every day through products and services that connect, automate, disrupt, and bring innovation to the digital health landscape. We are working on products and features to empower people to be healthier with the information, systems, and connections they need to act on their health. We are developing technology solutions and deep insights to enable care teams to deliver better, faster, and more connected care. And we are exploring the use of artificial intelligence, machine learning, and blockchain to assist critical care and wellness in predicting drug-food and drug-drug interactions, thereby preventing adverse drug effects and increasing the efficiency of pills and much more technology around the pill.
Well, I know that's a really big deal, some of these interactions. How do drug-food and drug-drug interactions decrease the efficiency of the treatment?
Yeah. So the foods that we consume, along with the drugs that we are prescribed to take for therapeutic benefits, the drugs that we take, they interact in many ways. Those interactions can be minor and can be as major as adverse drug events. So undesirable pharmacological effects in a consumer of prescription drugs are often triggered by the drug interactions either amongst themselves or with the food that the consumer intakes, thereby causing millions of unwanted interactions in home settings and unsupervised non-clinical settings. Now, a doctor may make you aware about a few of the interactions that happens with your drug internally or with the foods that you consume. The doctor is not a machine. There is a lot of literature and a lot of things that are going in your body when you co-administer a drug and a food constituent. Analogous to drug products, food is also a mixture of different chemical entities endowed with a determinable structure and specific reactive molecules. The food that we eat and the prescription drugs that we consume, they both interact inside your body, positive or negative. Interactions can be minor to notice or pay attention on day-to-day basis, dose-to-dose basis, or as major as resulting in adverse drug effect. An adverse drug event is an injury resulting from these medical interventions relating to this drug. These includes medication errors, adverse drug reactions, and allergic reactions, and overdoses, and thereby leading to inefficiency of the medicines that you're taking.
So what are digital therapeutics? And tell us more about Epillo's digital therapeutics and how it prevents that.
Yeah. So digital therapeutics are patient-facing software applications or devices, or a combination of both, that help patients treat, prevent, or manage a disease or symptom or a condition. Now, digital therapeutics can really support the patients in self-managing their symptoms or adding benefits to their current therapy, and thereby improving their quality of life and other clinical endpoints. Epillo's product and solution offering, named as Tonix, is a digital therapeutic device that aids the population in preventing undesired drug-food interactions and drug-drug interactions in unsupervised home settings.
And then finally, Dr. Singh, how is Epillo going to solve the existential security and safety concerns about healthcare data storage?
In the current scenarios, the healthcare organizations are facing the serious problems in sharing medical information among different stakeholders without sacrificing the privacy, integrity of information to store and share a large volume of sensitive and personal identifiable information, but it's got to be securely, is an important issue, actually.
Well, very interesting to hear how technology can play a role in making healthcare more efficient and make people healthier. So thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Singh, and also Asif Shah for joining us today and explaining that.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
On my show, I put no barriers between myself and my viewer. I don't use jargon. I never talk QE3. I don't use scripts. I just speak into the camera, tell the story, and we're invested together.
Fox Business, invested in you.
Hello, I'm William Shatner, and you may not know this about me, but years ago, I was diagnosed with a sleep disorder. And like millions of others, I was prescribed sleep equipment. Did you know sleep equipment manufacturers recommend daily cleaning? That's why I use SoClean 2. It's the perfect complement to my daily routine, and it's hassle-free. SoClean 2 is fast and easy. It keeps my sleep equipment fresh every day without the need for disassembly. To keep the immune system strong, we should do everything we can to ensure a good night's sleep, including using the SoClean 2 daily to keep sleep equipment fresh. Try SoClean 2 risk-free for 30 nights. Order now and get $100 off. SoClean 2 is so fast and gives you peace of mind that your sleep equipment is fresh each time you use it. Call the number on your screen or go to SoClean2.com to take advantage of this risk-free